Hello, everyone. I'm Franklin.
And I'm Matt, and today is our recap of NAMM 2019. Find out what we thought was the best and the worst of the show.
We are glad you guys are back with us. It has been a long journey. 4 days straight, nonstop.
Yeah, so for you guys that that maybe didn't see some of our interim videos, we've done a couple small things. This one is kind of the overview of everything that was released at NAMM 2019 this year. Again, if you're watching regular Tuesday episodes, NAMM is the yearly music expo, or this is Winter NAMM, where they, all the companies get together, they have booths, and they release new things. They bring, their best of show, their new product lines, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So much gear.
They released everything.
So much gear.
So we're going to go through and talk about our picks for what we thought was the best of show, a couple things that we thought maybe was the worst of show.
Yeah.
Just kind of recap what we thought was cool and, talk about what we think would be most useful in a praise and worship aspect. Because, again, we are the WorshipCast. That's a name that we chose for the show.
We sure did.
Franklin, what did you think of NAMM overall, just as a whole?
Overall, it was okay. I don't know. There's some stuff that was like nice. That's awesome. But like keyboard wise, as a keyboard player, there was just nothing that was like, oh, I could totally use that. It's not like Yamaha's, small little portable synth that back in the day, I don't know, it's 2015, 2016 when they released those. They had like 3 different models or 4 different models. But this year, I kind of wish, worship music would kind of go a little bit that way, which they kind of did, but not really. They didn't really utilize those per se, which maybe it's just getting there. So, I don't know. Everything, Roland was probably my highlight. I spoke about that yesterday. No, I spoke about that Saturday, this past Saturday, day 3 episode. And man, it was just all the keyboard manufacturers just let me down. Seaboard didn't even release anything new that I could find.
The Seaboard is the coolest thing that ever happened, by the way. Thank you guys for existing.
Yes.
From a guitar standpoint, I feel kind of the other way. There were some things that I expected and kind of wanted that I didn't get, but at the same time, when I saw the new things and I saw kind of the direction that things seemed to be headed, never had I known or not known I needed something so badly and not had it until it happened. So I was really blown away and kind of pulled in another direction, and we'll get into some of that on today's episode. So what was one of Roland's highlights that you thought was cool? I know there wasn't a whole lot of keyboard stuff that
there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there was,
but
like the FP. They made the consumer friendly, but still like $1,500 FP10. They had some like really expensive stuff, like a grand or an upright, and it was really cool. But those are like for like the professionals, which I'm not. I'm considering myself. I would say I am a professional, but then yet
if you have ever been paid to play, you're a professional musician.
So I would consider myself a professional, but I'm not a classically trained pianist. Let's go that way. So it's got like the real touch feels and the sound, and so I was like, and I can't remember what the terminology is, but it's something like instead of a sampled sound, it's another sound. It's supposed to sound better. So I'm like, okay, yeah, but it's just too expensive for me. Like personally, as a consumer, as a playing worship music, you don't get that much money. So I mean, as a musician in general, come on, we all know
it's about a higher purpose.
It is all about higher purpose. So putting that in a budget or putting that on a stage, I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a keyboard that is going to sit there and get played twice, maybe 3 times a week. So it's just kind of like, I think the max is going to be about $1,500 I would pay for a keyboard. Yeah. So it's just like Roland, good stuff, but they're kind of like Yamaha. Roland and Yamahas, and at home I've got Yamaha. At church I've got a Roland. So it's just like they're good stuff. But Roland overall, the biggest highlight for me. So
pricing wise is something that I'm going to get into a little bit on some of the stuff that I talked about too, because it's like you said, the really high fidelity, really expensive stuff is great and it's wonderful, but most of us that play in churches on weekends, especially here in the South, but really kind of everywhere. Yeah. Not everybody's got the money to drop on such a large, price tag. It's like you said, it doesn't matter if you play only at church or if you play more than church. I mean, we're regular people with jobs and a mortgage, and so that stuff is
bills, car payments. I mean, insurance. It's everything, life.
So an instrument at that price point, it almost is something more than I could see a church actually purchasing for the entire church or for the whole thing, instead of an individual, unless you're a professional touring musician, in which case you need that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they are doing a lot of that more, like you said, that more kind of high fidelity kind of stuff, because eventually it will trickle down.
Yeah, eventually. 5 years from now, but
but in the meantime, a $25 MIDI controller in main stage is pretty good.
Hey, that is what I use every time I play out. So
hey, you can worship God without having to go out and sell your car. On the guitar side, we talked a lot about over the past few days. How Loudon has a new affordable acoustic guitar that they've done with Ed Sheeran, but they haven't released a price, and so affordable can mean a lot of things. Loudon generally is between $4,500 and $5,000, so affordable can mean a lot. I think they're beautiful instruments. I really, really want to play one of the GL10 electrics. They are phenomenal looking. But yeah, we'll see what that has in store. And another thing that I thought was overpriced. Let's just go ahead and do this. If we're going to throw them under the bus, let's do it now. The Fender Acoustasonic, which we brought up a couple times.
Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of videos. I haven't played one yet. I want to, because everybody kind of says the same thing. They say it feels like a high quality, like a well-made, well-playing instrument. But
yeah, I've listened to some, and I'm like, yeah. They were like, yeah, this one sounds like a dreadnought. I was like, are you hearing what I'm hearing? I'm sorry to throw it under bus. Man,
we're listening through headphone speakers and stuff, but generally things that have been done like that in the past have not brought the best sound quality. And the thing about it is it's got a Telecaster pickup, but if I want to sound like a Telecaster, you can pick up a Telecaster for nothing,
Yep.
And Fender's not really known for their acoustics. And so when you mix those two things together and you charge $2,000 for it, I'm skeptical.
That price point.
You can go buy an American Standard Tele for $1,200.
Pretty much,
and that's if you get a raw deal. So, and they've had some amazing players play these things, but just because somebody plays the mess out of it doesn't mean that it sounds good. John Mayer can pick up a Strat, and I can pick up a Strat, and it sounds like two different instruments, and it's the same guitar. Yeah. So, I am, again, I'm not throwing it under the bus entirely. It just seems expensive for what it is, especially when you can get a T5 from Taylor for
under $2,000 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe under $3,000 I would say, but I mean still the T5s, there's nothing to match.
They're near my heart. So yeah, again, not to throw anybody under the bus, but it seemed like a weird decision, and that really was kind of my pick for worst of show, just because of the price point of it. It was pretty high. Anything else stand out, or was there anything that you wanted to see this year at NAMM and didn't?
Oh man,
it didn't happen. They had all the plug synths in the world.
There's a lot. I don't know. I wanted to see something that wowed me. I could see me actually using it. And there was nothing. I don't know, this year just... Maybe I just didn't search hard enough. But, I want to be able to utilize something new that is just in my workflow. It's okay. Whether it be a physical keyboard or a software keyboard or some type of software, but nothing wowed me.
Wow!
Wow!
We need to insert a clip here. That what's that actor's name?
Wow!
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. There we go. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was but I don't know. I keep thinking back of all the things I looked at. I mean, again, not to throw Korg under the bus, but everything that Korg released was just updated version or special editions. I was like, really? That's all you want to do?
A lot of synths, though.
They had some kind of stuff,
but the actual analog synths and stuff, you don't. Again, it's not something you see a whole lot in praise and worship stuff. But you see it other places. Again, we're kind of zeroing in on praise and worship.
Praise and worship.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I mean,
for things that could be used in that, there wasn't a whole lot of.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. I don't know. I mean,
Franklin's just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed this year. I mean, I've looked at all the as many people as I could think of. I mean, they had plenty of stuff for the guitars, pedals galore. I mean, right before even NAMM started, Strymon releases their thing, Volante. So,
which we'll have one before long to do a demo for you guys. So look out for that. There was a lot of other things that I thought were cool guitar-wise. Gibson, I've brought them up a few times, these other videos, but I've seen some more stuff where they're doing like classic runs of these old guitars, of Les Pauls and all that other stuff, where they're doing the 59 spec and they're getting it as close as they can, and then they're doing the 60 specs, and so you've got options now if you really want that 59 Les Paul. They're trying to bring that back, and it seems like they've talked about quality control, which has been an issue. They seem to be wanting to turn this shit back around, and I'm a Gibson fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for them. I hate to see a company that has been a forerunner,
an icon.
I mean, in the music industry, to just. I'm hoping that they can just bring this back, from last year, the bankruptcy, to this year, just kicking it off. I'm hoping. I mean, I don't think they're in the bankruptcy anymore, right? But
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think. But I'm hoping that they just continually stay strong and then just quality control, keeping those qualities up. Because I just felt like, I mean, other than the one I've heard you play. The Gibsons I've heard or seen, they're just not.
You can get a bad one.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah. You may go to a music store now and pick up 100 Les Pauls and 4 of them. I got extremely lucky with mine, and that thing plays and sounds like a dream. And it's one of those things where, I hate that Gibson had kind of got to that point, but if you ever get your hands on a good one. And it sounds to me like they're trying to make sure they're all good ones again.
Yeah.
But if you ever get your hands on a really good, well-made one, there's nothing like a Gibson. There's really not.
The tone you can get out of it, the
the grunt. The gross. It's so good. But and that's another thing. You don't see Les Pauls in worship a whole lot again. Kerry Job's guitarist, when we went and saw him at one time, played one, and I use one a lot. I know a lot of you guys out there do too. Les Pauls are great.
They are.
There was a lot of pedals that were released this year. A lot. A whole bunch. A lot of, and I'm just going to pick 2 or 3 that I thought were really cool. A lot of synth stuff. A whole lot of synth based, guitar ring modulators and analogs and all this stuff, and that's really cool. And I feel like actually there is a place for some of those kind of things in kind of modern praise and worship. There's plenty of spaces to get those kind of things and use them. There also were a ton of fuzz pedals. I'm not real sure where to put that in. There's ways to use it so that it's real punchy, but there's a lot of the harmony or the pitch shifted fuzzes and stuff too, and I don't see those being on a praise and worship board a whole lot. Prove me wrong. If you've got a video of you doing like Unstoppable God with a stutter fuzz, show me, please.
I don't know, man. I've been listening to some like old 90s and 2000s, and I think they've utilized some of those old fuzz overdrives. Like, I'm pretty sure if you listen to some old Hillsong, maybe it's just me not hearing it correctly. But
I'm going to buy a fuzz face tomorrow. We'll have a good time next Sunday. I'll get kicked out. But one of the other things that let's talk about this first. We talked a little bit about Fender's pedals again, but I thought they had some cool stuff. The Pinwheel, which is the rotary speaker we talked about, I'm excited for that. I really want to try one. And we don't talk about this a whole lot, but keyboard players can utilize stuff like the rotary speaker simulators. You utilize an overdrive pedal. The little green Ibanez box, big skies and timelines and that kind of stuff for keyboards too. Don't forget that.
I want one so bad, but it's too expensive. Like, that's another keyboard. Like, if I get timeline and the big skies, like, that's just a keyboard.
But it turns your current keyboard into a new keyboard.
Is it worth it? It's just, so it's like,
it's worth it.
I mean, $900 to $1,000 for two pedals, or so it's like, I don't know.
Back to price again. We're actually broke. We need your help. We're starting a Kickstarter soon. Yeah. That's not true. They have the Treeverb pedal, which is it's got a reverb, but it's got a tremolo built in, and they're trying to pull these effects out of the old amp. So they're trying to pull, their spring reverb pedal is supposed to sound like Fender amp spring reverb, which is the best. And the little vibro champ I've got,
yeah,
the old one that we showed in one of the first episodes, the vibrato still works in that thing, and it's the best sound of vibrato ever, and it's stuck in an amp until now, where they put it in a pedal. And so Fender has taken their effects that they've been known for, and they've put them in stomp boxes so that you can use them anywhere, and I think that's so cool. And then the Downtown Express, which is the bass pedal that we talked about. That's got your compressor. It's got a tuner out. It's got your overdrive for bass and all that stuff. And it's kind of a big unit, an absolute unit. And, my dad's a bass player, and that'd be cool for him to have at church. And for some of you bass players, I know a lot of you plug straight into a DI and right into the board, and that's what happens. If you had something like this, where you could, add the compressor and add a little... not a lot of drive, but a little drive.
The sound people will hate you.
Let's just clarify. If you had somewhere you could shape some sound before it hit, and it's its own DI too, so you could come out of that and go directly in. You can do some really cool things if you're not using an amp at church. If you plug straight in with something like that, and I think it's great.
Yeah, good option. It opens up another door. So,
Yep, and then. One more thing I wanted to talk about. I'm talking a lot this episode because there really was more.
There's more guitar stuff. Like, I read everywhere I look, there's boom, boom, guitar. I'm like, well, I guess guitar, and they had a couple of drum stuff. I mean, Pearl had some new lineups, and
they did do some things. They're kind of keeping the old school shells around.
But I mean, it's like, guitars always have to be so much more.
We're a bunch of show-offs, I'll be the first to admit it. But what I talked about earlier, how I felt like, there were certain things I kind of wanted, and then it ended up going in a new direction that I ended up thinking was way cooler.
Yeah.
So here's kind of what I'm talking about. They did a lot more pedals that are... that are more for pedal board switching, a lot of your more ABY kind of stuff, a lot of your more useful gadgets. And the other thing that they have done a lot of is a lot of preamps. I'm seeing preamps become a thing. And so, we're talking about you could put it at the end of your chain if you want, right before it goes to an amp, or you can put it in the middle of your chain, kind of near your volume pedals and that kind of stuff, so that you get all your overdrives and stuff fed into it. But I'm seeing a lot of them are they're on overdrive. I feel like a good preamp is going to start replacing these drive and distortion pedals on boards pretty soon, because they're emulating that real amp tone as quickly as possible on your pedal board. And, even if we're getting to a point where some of us aren't using amps, we're doing direct ends and we're doing cab sims and that kind of stuff, a preamp like this is going to kind of change the game.
Sound good.
And so there's a lot of those kind of things coming out. The JHS, which everybody knows, has got the Clover.
Clover, yep.
Which is a green preamp. It's very green.
He's very green. That's why it's called the Clover.
And plenty of EQ options. It's got a place on there where you can kill the EQ and use it as just kind of like a boost. A place where you can drop the mids entirely, which if you really don't want to be heard in a mix, that's the way to go. And, the full EQ. And I heard it really just shaking a guitar and just thickening the tone up and filling in that void. But the one I'm really most excited about, I don't know if you know who Chase Bliss Audio is.
I think I've heard of them, but I can't.
They do the Tonal Recall. They do the Brothers Overdrive.
I think I've heard of the Brothers Overdrive, yeah.
Very, very cool company. They are doing, apparently it's a whole line of pedals, but they've started with this one called the Automaton. Automaton. The Automaton Mark II. And they partnered with Benson amps to do this. It's a preamp that has sliders on the front of it.
Okay.
And it's got like a fuzz and some other stuff built in for you fuzz heads again, and lots of presets. And so it shows them hitting the button, and all the sliders and faders will switch to new positions. And so they'll go from this overdriven fuzz killer tone, hit a button, they'll switch, and now it's just clean, pretty, beautiful.
I have seen that. I did see that. Yeah, that's how. Yeah. I'm seeing what you're. I remember reading about that. Dang,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like, to be honest, you could almost take drives off your board and replace it with a preamp that has these presets in it that are supposed to sound like the actual amps that they're kind of modeling.
Yeah.
And that's going to give us, as guitarists, it's going to give us much more true to amp, drive and tone. I really love the way things are going. Only thing that scares me is that the knobs on the top, how do you keep them from popping and flying off? We played a gig the other night where I found a knob, but we couldn't figure out where it went. I don't think I lost it on a mixer.
Yeah.
So those things are fragile.
I mean,
they got
super glue
and stuff in them. Yeah,
super glue.
I worry about the heavy dutiness of it, but it looks really awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anything else grab you?
Man, I'm about keep thinking, but
those are kind of the big points.
Those are kind of the big points. Again, keyboard companies, step up your game.
They're always though coming out with new updates and patches to the programs like Omnisphere and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They're always upgrading firmware, operating. Just new sounds, giving more samples and patches and everything, which is great. But it's like, I want more. I want a new keyboard.
Yeah, something new instead of showing up every year with just the next number up after the decimal point. Don't get me wrong, you guys are. I mean, that's what you've got to do. That's your product, and that's what you're upgrading. But I didn't feel like there was enough. Like, check this out, this year.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
NAMM, great for guitarists, not so great for keyboards.
No. I tried. I looked. But if you guys know of anything else, if there was a keyboard I missed, I would love to see it down in the comments.
Yeah, let him know.
Let me know.
So he can let me know.
Yeah, so because I want to utilize something new in the workflow. I mean, right now I've got main stage, I've got rolling keyboards. I mean, one day, Omnisphere, I'm coming for you. But, and Keyscape, there's another one too, Keyscape, but gosh, they're just too expensive. So one day, but probably not anytime soon.
we'll be eventually moving into some of that kind of stuff and bringing them out to show how to use them in a praise and worship aspect. Yeah, but there's one other little thing I want to talk about, and it's something that Bose released a couple weeks ago that it really just flew under the radar. And I don't know how we missed it because it's such a powerful product. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, what is it? Bose?
I like to surprise Franklin on camera. Bose. It's the best thing.
Bose. Did I miss something?
Yeah, they released a pair of sunglasses.
Oh, I did see that. But I didn't see it from a worship or a music place. I saw it from a tech YouTuber. It's like, what? Okay, I didn't watch it. It's like, that's whatever.
So, Bose has released a pair of sunglasses that have speakers built into the back part just in front of your ear so that you can listen while you protect your eyes. And, they look like regular sunglasses, and they say that once you take them off, other people around you can't hear. Huh. Which, it's kind of like people are already saying, oh, he's wearing Apple EarPods. He can't hear us, And now the meme's going to be, oh, he's wearing Bose sunglasses. He can't hear us.
Pretty much.
And so, trying to think of a praise and worship aspect to use sunglasses and kind of drawing a blank. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if you're playing outside and, you obviously they're Bluetooth. You can't plugging your sunglasses in seems counterproductive. But maybe try to run a click track or something through them. But
if it's Bluetooth, no.
Yeah,
no. See, it's just if you're new to the channel or if you're even new to the whole worship aspect, Bluetooth is not the way to go. People are like, oh, I can plug in a Bluetooth transmitter and then it can transmit and receive into... Nope. The latency is too much.
So if you have trouble, playing on the beat or playing with the rest of the band kind of already anyway, and then you put a click track in your ears that has some latency problems, and then you're like, you're playing right, but you're playing like 2 seconds behind the rest of the band. There's no saving notes. When you do that. No. There's no way to get out of that hole. That and if you're wearing sunglasses in your church on Sunday mornings on stage, what are you doing?
I mean,
unless it's a gimmick the band's doing for a reason. Cool. We should do that.
Just wear sunglasses.
Wear sunglasses.
Yeah. As a keyboardist, people would just be like, what are you doing? Are you trying to imitate Ray Charles or something?
Yeah,
or Stevie Wonder?
No, but okay, you get a free pass to wear sunglasses on stage if you're playing a keytar. All right?
Yeah.
And you've got one of those poofy, like multicolored, like purple and teal jackets, right? All right, free pass if that's what you're going to do. Or a saxophone, too, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I see that. I can see that.
Yeah, big time 80s. Feathered hair. Let's bring the 80s back into worship. Or don't. Please don't.
I mean, maybe, but these kids, the generation, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're the last generation that may. And we're getting old. Oh, man. We're getting old. It's like,
I'm not getting old. I refuse. I refuse to get old.
I'm not getting old. I refuse it.
So, as far as products that have been released in the past few weeks, the most shocking and really what I thought was total best of show, just the best new product, goes to the Bose sunglasses. Good job, guys.
Yes.
I need a pair. But thank you guys again for watching. Hope you've enjoyed just our thoughts and musings on NAMM 2019. Please like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WorshipCast.com. Let's leave some comments down below. We want community.
Yep, we want community. We want discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you disagree with something we said and you've got a reason why we're wrong and you want to prove us wrong and throw shade, do it, please. We want to talk to you because, it's about the community and we're not always right.
Yep.
As much as I'd like to be. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll catch you next week. Plenty more content.